Hey guys, how's it going? So I wanted to kind of jump in and show you these really cool stickers that I'm using from Bumble Created. The the stickers that I'm using today are these really pretty floral um, kind of templates. And so this one right here is a wreath that has all the different months on it. And so you can use this various different ways, but I wanted to use this as my cover page. So I'm doing the month of June, so I'm basically just going to highlight the June on here just so that stands out. And then that's pretty much what I'm going to be using for this. I really wanted to do something simple and pretty this month. I typically like to draw my florals, but I wanted to try this out and see how I felt about using like pre-made stickers because I don't really ever use them and I think it'd be fun to just kind of change things up. So right now I'm using my mild liner to just write the 2018 um, just to kind of fill in the center. It came out a little bit off center, but I don't really mind that too much. And sorry about the lighting, it kind of goes in and out a little bit, which is kind of annoying. But here I have the gray Tombow twin tone marker, and so I'm using the fine tip right now to create sort of a drop shadow. Just because the mild liners are so light that I felt like it kind of washes away, so I wanted to make it pop just a little bit. So that's what I'm doing right here. I'm just kind of creating some sort of drop shadow effect. So next I'm going to be using these other really cool stickers that she created, which are various leaves. They're all a little bit different, and so I thought it'd be fun to kind of continue the leaf theme with my next page. So I'm going to be doing a month at a glance, and I don't typically like to do too much on this page just because I don't want it to be really cluttered. So I like to really have it focused on just the events that are happening overall in the month. So I'm just doing kind of a little bit of a layout of the leaves, just very, very simple, very clean. So next we have the pink mild liner, and I'm using this to color in some of the flowers. I kind of regret coloring it in with this color because I wasn't really that fond of it, but I kind of just went with it because, I don't know, I just figured I'd go with it. So do what you like, but that's just what I ended up doing. Next, I have my Tombow Fudenosuke brush pen, and I'm using this to letter out the month at a glance. I wanted to keep this in real time rather than hyperlapsing it, just to show you the pace at which you should probably be writing when you're using a brush pen. I feel like sometimes, I hyperlapse things just so that way I can get the video going, but I feel like it's really helpful for you guys to see really the pace at which you should be lettering, because it's important to take your time so that way you can have control over the letters and also over the strokes, like the thick and the thin. That's how you can get such clean transitions between thick and thin. So yeah, so this is like real time how slowly I letter every time in order to get it to look good. The flourish I did on the M is a little bit weird. I kind of wish that I didn't make the loop at the bottom of the M so big, but that's the fun thing about bullet journals, is that whatever I do this month doesn't really matter because I can always just do something different next month, and I was happy enough with it as it is. So I just combined some like flourish lettering with some block lettering, and just to change it up. And then I'm adding a few more of the leaves. I really like that she has a few just individual leaves like this, because they're just like a nice way to kind of fill up space. Obviously I could have drawn these just as easily, but I thought it was a nice added touch. And so I'm just going to go over this part pretty quickly. I'm essentially just going down the middle of the page, writing down however many days there are in the month, and then the corresponding day of the week. And this is just really like a quick overview of what I have going on in the month. Because I do reference my future log when I'm planning my weeks, but sometimes it's nice to just quickly be able to see, like, what do I have going on just this month. I can throw in some appointments, and it's just like an easy reference for me to kind of see overall what I have going on. So yeah, so that's just me setting this part up. So I was really excited about using this tracker. Um, The only thing that I was kind of wishing was that it was flipped on the other side, just because the way I like to align my things is on the left side, but I made it work, because the way this is, in order to do 1 at the top and 31 at the bottom, I had to put it to the right. So for me that's a little bit awkward, but maybe if you're a lefty it works out better. But anyways, I made it work. I really like that it continues that floral theme, and I wanted to use this for my sleep tracker, or my sleep log. I've really been fond of doing sleep logs lately, and so I wanted to kind of just keep that going, and this was a much easier way of tracking that. So here I'm basically just going to fill in the hours that I am tracking. I like to typically do 8 p.m. through the night to noon the next day. But I ended up actually just ending this at 11 a.m. because I didn't want it to look too cramped. And I mean, when do I ever sleep that late? I have 2 little kids, so it's really just more of like a pipe dream that I would even sleep that late. But yeah, I just do those really quickly. Next, I wanted to fill in the flowers, so I used a combination of my mild liner highlighters as well as my twin tone markers, and that was because um, I've tried coloring on these stickers before, and the twin tones are almost a little too dark, and so you can't really see the details of the flowers. So it was really important to use something light. So the highlighters were perfect for that. Um, the color palette that I have maybe was probably not my favorite, but that's all I have available, so it worked. And what I ended up doing was using the twin tone markers to create depth within the flowers and leaves. So it actually worked really, really well to kind of add some sort of shadowing in the flowers and leaves to kind of add some detail. So I really, really enjoyed the contrast of the two. So next I'm going to be doing my mood tracker, and if you've seen my videos before, then you know that I like to do kind of a creative version of that. So what I wanted to do, I wanted to keep it very, very simple, but I wanted to have fun with it. So this time I decided to make 31 leaves, because that's how many days there are in the month, and then I'm just going to color them in as I go throughout the month, and kind of just have like a nice little mosaic, I guess, of colored leaves. And then I very much simplified my mood tracker, so I only do happy, stressed, and productive, because I feel like that's just all I really need to track, and that's all I really have time to track. So next I'm setting up my first weekly, and I apologize for the lighting kind of getting bright like this. I didn't realize that until after I filmed, but it just kind of pops in and out. So right now what I'm doing is setting up the squares for the days. So what I did here is there are like 14 wide by 8 tall, just so that way you have a reference. And I did 8 squares so that way I could do the 7 days of the week plus 1 square for next week, because I think it's just easier for me to have like, well, A, for me to have something to put down if I have something going on next week, and B, I just like symmetry and it just kind of drives me nuts having like a blank spot. But honestly, I could have probably put like my mood track or my habit tracker there and that would have been just fine. So moving on, I just used the cap of a candle that I have to create the circle, and I'm going through and I'm adding a few leaves with my fine liner, and then I'm going to be adding some like twigs with berries next. And I wanted to keep it super simple and just kind of continue that like floral and leaf motif that I've been going. I probably could have used some of the stickers for this, but I just felt like I wanted to draw at this point because I hadn't drawn really at all. So anyways, I'm using my twin tone marker to write out June, and then I'm going to be adding the monthly calendar right below that. And really I just like to do this because I like to have a visual of like where I am in the month. It's just something that I've really gotten used to doing and I really enjoy. And then at the bottom is where I add my habit tracker for the week, just because I found that I prefer weekly trackers versus monthly because then I'm actually being more accountable with them. It just works better for me, I guess. And I always kind of change it up as to what I'm tracking that week. And then the next section is just my to-do list. Sometimes it's long, sometimes it's short, so I like to have plenty of room to kind of just see what comes up that week. And then I'm just throwing a few leaves for extra decor. So that's it. That is my June setup. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's a little different than what I normally do with the stickers, but I thought it'd be fun to change it up. Let me know what you guys think, and if you post any on Instagram, be sure to tag me. See you guys in my next video. Bye.